So today I'm here with you, and it's almost the winter solstice, which is a very, very special time of year. The darkest part of the year, the shortest daylight, longest nights. Less light means less distractions, less, from the outside world, more quiet time, more time to go within. And throughout the ages, many cultures and civilizations celebrated this time as a time of rebirth, renewal, and the beginning of our return to light on our journey around the sun. And of course, we're talking about more wholeness. You can't get enough about wholeness, that's for sure. And what a perfect time for these both to come together, the winter solstice with this idea, this month on wholeness. Wholeness. Wholeness is entirety versus partialness or incompleteness. And when we think of ourselves as merely physical beings, we are thinking of ourselves as only a part of who we really are. Spirit is complete. It is fullness. It is wholeness. And so being one with spirit, being of spirit, means that we were created out of this same perfection, therefore making us whole too. So at the core of our beings, this is our truth as individualized centers of God perfection. How does that feel? How would it be? What would it be like to know ourselves and to live from that place? How would we see the world, which often looks wild and crazy, out of control, if we really knew the world was whole? Not just a part of what really is. Everyone was whole, not just a part. Unless we are seeing it from a deeper, richer place within ourselves, us, as we see it from the deeper, richer place within ourselves. If we can't do that, we can't see the ultimate reality, even though it is here, even though it surrounds us, it's all around us. We are immersed in it. We have been so conditioned to think that reality is only what we see. If that is what we believe, then of course we're going to see less than, not enough, not good enough, because the allness of who we are is not in the equation. We're going to feel less than, not enough, not good enough. If we see and feel that, then our demonstrations, our outcomes are going to reflect that too. It's a bit of a trap, and we all fall into it, and we're working on it. It's not so easy. It's hard to believe that no matter what, we are more than we appear to be. Our ability to see ourselves as whole opens wide the doors of perception, allowing us to see the greater reality, to see the world and those around us as whole too. That requires a different orientation altogether than the way most of us were brought up. Last month, I had a sweet, sweet visit to Wisconsin, where my daughter and her family live. And our twin granddaughters just turned 7. They were so much fun to be with. I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time. They hanging around all of that energy and that love and excitement was intoxicating. On the other hand, it was harder to be present with their father and his son. And earlier that day, I, witnessed their dad having a big blowout argument with his son, his tween. He's a preteen son. And after dinner that night, after the girls left the room, the father shared a difficult time with his son where he was talking back to his dad, and he was severely physically abused for standing up for himself and talking back to him. his confession revealed that part of him that was good, that part of him that wanted more. And just because he had trauma with a capital T does not in any way affect his wholeness. Wholeness is who he is, no matter whether it's showing or not. He may be operating from the reality that his physical self is, is the only thing that he has to work with, or that he's a victim. But even so, his spirit isn't diminished at all by his worldly experience. It remains. In our 7.5 years of being together, I never heard this part of his story before. And that explains some things to me about him. I started off, it was hard for me not to go in judgment earlier in the day. And as I listened, my heart opened. I felt more love and compassion for both of them, for the difficult path that they are on together. And I knew that Spirit was doing its work, its beautiful work with us all. Showing our vulnerability requires courage and is a huge step on the way to healing. So I felt honored and privileged that he shared such an intimate part of himself in my presence. And I acknowledge them both for having the courage to have such a conversation. Each generation is trying to do it better. All there really is love and light within us shining through, to the degree that we clean up some of our own shadows, those unhealthy beliefs that we brought into, or we bought into as we went through life, that trigger us and cause us to respond in ways that we regret. And that night reminded me about how much the human race lives with on a daily basis, year after year, operating on very little support from the outside world. Yet, inside, there are infinite resources, but we have to know they are there before we can take advantage of them. And people are at all different places with their personal and spiritual maturity. I like how Richard Rohr, a Franciscan priest, author of The Universal Christ, explains there are 4 worldviews when it comes to spirituality. And the first one is the material worldview, where what we see is the ultimate real world. So everything we see is it. This is as good as it gets. That's the real world. That's the material worldview. The spiritual worldview recognizes that there is spirit, consciousness, an invisible world behind all forms. That's the spiritual worldview. The priestly worldview assumes that there are 2 separate worlds needing to be put back together. And that's what priests and ministers and gurus are trying to help people with. And then the fourth is the incarnational worldview, understands and sees that matter and spirit have always been together. There's never been a separation. And so, you can see where if there are 4 different worldviews going on, there's going to be a lot of different reactions, and there's going to be a lot of different ways of approaching life. And you wonder why the world is like it is. Well, this is a viewpoint that I think is valid. It's another way of seeing things that makes things interesting, and it also helps us to understand the dynamics that we're working with. So that incarnational worldview, that the oneness is, in other words, wholeness, operating from that place. And that's where we want to be. And there's nothing wrong with the other worldviews. It just happens to be where people are at in their process. They're not wrong It's a process, and that's where they happen to be. So all of the fighting and divisiveness and the divisions about religion throughout history that still exists today, all of that is like camouflage. It's all like a substitution for the longing that we have for an in-depth relationship and experience of God, of the infinite, of the divine. It's all we all want it. That's what we crave. We all crave. That's at the heart of everything that we do, even though it looks very convoluted much of the time. So we came here for more. It takes time and practice to get to the point of seeing spirit in everyone and everything. And when we can see the wholeness in the beggar on the street, in the politician, in our families, as we get into the holidays and maybe mix and mingle a little bit more with our families, in ourselves, as we do that, and when the more that we can do that, then we are really making a difference in the world. That's the real work. That's what we're here to do. Big job, huh? Imagine spirit, life, having so much love and wisdom to impart on its creations, waiting for them to get up to speed, so to speak, with their own selves. Just imagine that. The gift, as Judy said earlier, has already been given, but we have not been able and ready to receive it up until this point. Spirit waits for the perfect opening, the right and perfect situation, conditions, timing, the perfect moment of readiness. It created this being that was anticipated, predicted, but hasn't shown up yet. A consciousness that could take the gift on and really do something with it. That's what we're talking about. So with that in mind, I would like this morning, in the tradition of Dr. Kennedy Schultz, the original founder of the Atlanta Centers, who used to read us a Christmas story at this time of year, I would like to read a poem written by Ernest Holmes. So I'd like you to just take a moment, relax, get comfortable, close your eyes if it's comfortable, and just take this in. Asleep in the heart of cosmic love, unborn, universal, potential, the Christ child lay, and the great mother soul, brooding over her unborn child, conceived it in the stillness of her universal nature, imparting to it her own being. Born into time and experience, unnoticed, unseen, yet alive and aware, the Christ child incarnated in human form, taking the likeness of men and women, yet giving no sign of its presence, waiting with utmost patience and love, the revelation that should disclose itself and proclaim the reign of peace. Many ages passed and vanished in the long yesterdays of time, and still the Christ child waited. Nations appeared and disappeared, but the universal wholeness cannot be forever subjected, nor cosmic love be kept from human form. That which was given must be revealed. The seed of perfection must burst. The shoots of heavenly planting must break the cords that bind, fanning the human into a blaze divine. And so the long-appointed day arrived. A voice from out of the stillness spoke, "This is my beloved." Let the earth be still in their presence. Let the beasts of the wild, in the field, the birds of the air, and all living creatures be still. Let the hosts of heaven sing praises, and let deep cry unto deep. Then spoke the child, I am come to bring peace. I am the child of joy, and to all who will, I give life. I am formed of happiness. I am come from the eternal stillness. Quietness and confidence are mine. In the heart of the Father I have lived forever. O nations and all people, look unto me and be saved. Behold my face, shining as the sun, and my feet shod with righteousness. In my left hand are the riches and honor, and in my right peace forevermore. All that I am and all that I have, I give. And so the long appointed day arrived when you were born. A voice from out of the stillness spoke, This is my beloved. Let the earth be still in their presence. Let the beasts of the field, the birds of the air, and all living creatures be still. Let the hosts of heaven sing praises, and let deep cry unto deep. And thus spoke you, I am come to bring peace. I am the child of joy, and to all who will I give life. I am formed of happiness. I am come from the eternal stillness. Quietness and confidence are mine. In the heart of the Father I have lived forever. O nations and all people, look unto me and be saved. Behold my face, shining as the sun, and my feet shod with righteousness. In my left hand are riches and honor, and in my right peace forevermore. All that I am, all that I have, I give. That's who we are. We are the beloved ones. Each one of us comes in from that place. Each one of us comes into the world from that place as the beloved ones. We yearn to know ourselves for who we really are. If we see the holidays as a very special time, instead of meaningless or going through the motions to just get through them, we can use them as a time for us to contemplate, to be in nature, to write, to meditate, listen, go deeper within the vastness of our own selves. This is a prime opportunity for, while everybody is focused on taking time off or being with family, giving gifts, slowing down, to really focus on loving yourself. What a gift. There's not a better gift that we can give ourselves. So I invite you to take some time, have the courage to go inside yourself and see the magnificence that you are. How will the upcoming year be different if you do this? How will it make a difference? I think it will make a big difference. Remember, there is that within you that is pure, that is invincible, untainted spirit. You have more power over situations and circumstances in your life than you know, and you have more support than you think. Almost 100 years ago now, when the Science of Mind textbook was first published, Dr. Holmes wrote, "Never before was there such an inquiry into the hidden meaning of things. never such a searching after God in reality. Well, that is true more now than ever. We see it everywhere, and yet this unmet need cannot be satisfied until we make the great discovery for ourselves that spirit is not some entity outside, some outside entity, but rather spirit is that indwelling presence in us, as us, through us, around us. And this is why you are here as a community, to be a safe resource for individuals who are ready to take the next steps in getting to know their true selves. That is the beautiful work that you are called to do. You are all beautiful expressions of the one that wants to express itself in new and wondrous and relevant ways to today's people. So you have a great opportunity before you being in this interim time. The world needs you. There is a place for you. You are the ones. All there is love. Namaste.
Hey, so